What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Tim in Green Bay.
Professional.
Here's the guy.
We got Jacob in Wisconsin. We got Emilio in Tennessee. Gents, how we doing? Give me a second to gather myself.
I'm doing pretty good. It's hot as a you know what here. How about you, Tim? Are you feeling this sticky hotness over there?
No, not anymore. I cut the grass early this morning, got all my stuff done, got inside the AC. I'm feeling good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Doing good.
Okay.
88 and sunny here, Jacob. I'm chilling. Day off tomorrow, so we are cooking with Crisco.
Yeah, see, we mow on the 4th of July. There's no better way to celebrate our country than go out there and keep this country moving. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I see it.
Throw clippings into every landscaping bed you can.
Because nobody's going to care. Everybody's all sauced up. You know what I mean? It don't matter. We're all good, right? So, Boz says, back-to-back World War champs. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No.
All right, so obviously, this is Packers Total Access. If you're new here, this is a silly little show where we talk Packers 365 days a year, pretty much 365 days a year. If you're into Packers talk, feel free to drop in anytime. Sub to the channel. We cover everything. We pretty much do, post-game shows, pre-game shows. We do film breakdown. We're going to do some film breakdown tonight. I'm really, really excited about diving into some Evan Williams tape here at the end of the show. We're also going to talk most underrated Packers of 2025, and we'll do an Evan Williams deep dive before we go into the Chalk Talk, which I'm really, really excited about as well. Amelia, you had a couple questions. Why don't we lead off with that, man? You had a couple cool little questions that you had mentioned before we went live. Why don't we hit on those real quick?
All right.
Just 5 or 10 minutes. What do you got there, man?
So asking the group here, if you can only pick one, which first-round pick on defense would you want to have a breakout season this year? So first-round picks, that would leave LVN, Wyatt, and Walker as your options.
Quay freaking Walker.
I love it, Tim. I love it. I don't even need to, because I'm just saying these are the ones we drafted in the first round, not another team is all. So, yeah, Tim, I love that it's Quay Walker. I mean, we've talked about a lot. Speed of the defense starts at the linebacker core with Edgerrin Coop and Quay, spiking off this year. I think that would be absolutely huge.
Yep.
Jacob?
I'd have to go with my boy LVN. If he ends up kind of coming to what he could be as far as his physical potential. I mean, the dude is, we talk about him being Hercules. He looks and if we could have another, shutdown sort of edge that they couldn't key on Wyatt or my boy Cox, if we have that hockey rotation, if he really is the top two with Gary and LVN, I think it could be an absolute difference maker.
I think it's hilarious that y'all picked Walker and LVN, because I definitely would have went Wyatt, and we didn't talk about this off air.
No, we didn't. I just sent in the text. I didn't want them to have any pre-notion on it.
If you guys want to know the behind the tea leaves, how things go, we basically in the last 5 minutes, what do you guys want to do? What do you want to do? And then nobody answered, so we just went live.
I guarantee you the chat's like, no, we can tell y'all didn't know preparation whatsoever. But yeah, with Wyatt, we talked about having that 3 tech of the future. If he were to break out, then when we kind of draw that picture of the most important positions on defense, edge, D tackle, and then of course tier 2 positions, your Mike linebacker, your post safety. If Wyatt turns into that dude, or if he takes another step forward, which he did last year, I think the sky's the limit for this defense. It really is, man. It really is. And you had on offense too, didn't you, Emilio?
Yeah, just real quick, the chat had H.E. Soder, Wyatt, Chuck Jaggers, Walker, John Johnson, Wyatt, Andy Watkins, LVN, Mac Podcast, LVN, Clint Armchair, LVN, Shay, LVN, Bates, LVN, Mo Bills, LVN, and that's a bust. So yeah, that's about everybody. Honestly, most landed kind of on LVN there at the end, which I like to see. We kind of want that edge presence. If I were to just do a quick one on the offense, the only 2 first rounders, again, if you could only pick one, which one would you want to have a breakout season? Options there would be Golden and Morgan. I'm going to exclude Jay Love just because I feel like that's a given. We want him to break out no matter what. So I guess opposite this time, Clay.
Yeah, I would. For me, it's definitely Golden. If he can be that Z that takes the top off the defense and opens things up for Tucker Kraft and Jaden Reed underneath, pick your poison. I understand if people want to go Morgan too, but for me, it would be Matthew Golden. Yep.
Like it. Jacob, you're in the middle again.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Bates. It's not who I would want to, I guess. It'd be who do I need? Like, I guess it'd be want and need. The amount of draft capital we spent on Morgan and what we've gotten in return so far has been, in my opinion, quite lackluster. And so I just want to see him take a step, find somewhere on that position. I'll even settle so low as to say, even if he's like the best backup, so that we have a rotational player that can maybe pop in of a tackle, a guard situation when we need it. We saw how necessary that was in the Eagles game when we lost one key guy, another key guy. We didn't have nobody in the hopper. We had no backups that were willing to come in there and actually do what they needed to do in the trenches for us to even have a game plan to put together. I really like Golden. I think that one's going to be a little easier for him to kind of step into his role, where I think the Morgan's going to have to earn that a little more.
All right. Timbo?
I would answer that question with yes.
I love it. We need them both.
Both of them. Let's go. Both
because I didn't give him a third option. Tim went with both.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, both of them.
Perfect.
Because a lot to what Jacob is saying, right? He made a good point here. You know, Jordan Morgan, man, if that guy takes a step, man, we are going to be lethal.
Absolutely.
And if Matt Golden comes in here and pops off as a rookie, man, we're going to be lethal. So there's no wrong way to answer that question. But you know, if you put me under the gun, I'm going to say Matt Golden for sure.
Yep. We had Bates at Morgan and Clint the armchair quarterback said Morgan Golden will be fine. I do like that. I have one more. Yeah, one more question here. If you could pick, now this one's going to kind of open up. I think we're going to exclude quarterbacks here as well. But if you could pick one position group to play like a top 5 group, who would that be?
Top 5 in the league or top just?
Yes. Yeah, top 5 in the league position group. So you're talking, you know,
defensive tackle.
Yeah. What do you think, Quizmaster?
I'm not going to test. I would say O-line. I would be very happy with if we can protect Jay Love. Like I said, build that wall. Get a wall grader for Jacobs. Get Emmanuel in there. Get Lloyd some touches. I think if the front of Jordan Love is up and he stays upright, there's not a lot of penalties. There's not a lot of sacks. This offense he's gonna have time to find Golden wherever he is downfield. You know, he's gonna have time to find Tuck, and Matt can get into his bag a little bit more. So I would say the O-line group.
Yeah, for me, I would have to go O-line as well. I mean, it goes back to last year. Why did you lose to the Eagles? Because your offensive line could not handle that stellar defense. Although we played the Eagles better than any of the other playoff opponents, including, you know, the Super Bowl match up there. So, yeah, for me, it would probably be offensive line here more recently. However, if you could tell me, look, you know, quarterback room, that's a position group too, right? I think, right? If you could tell me that Jordan Love is going to be a top 5 quarterback this year, that's hard to go against that.
Right.
And the same thing really with the wide receiver room. If you have a top 5 wide receiver room this year,
that was crazy.
What you had last year, you're probably going to have Jordan Love finish in the top 5 as well. It's just simply from that byproduct of that, you know. So yeah,
I'd probably go with. I think I'd have to go with the D-line, and I hate that I just stole Tim's answer, didn't I, Tim?
No, because I screamed it out right away. So
oh, you screamed it out? Okay.
Yeah.
I just think that they are the ones that are in position to take the biggest steps, and if they do, it should help that group immensely. And you add in the fact that we got DeMarcus Covington in there, and just the way that they're setting up. My brain initially told me to say linebacker, but we did that exercise yesterday, which I thought was great, doing that way too early 53. And my contention was that, well, if we lose even one of Quay or Cooper, that whole room falls apart. But you guys kind of made me feel better with knowing that, like I think it was Emilio that said, like, we can switch to where we have that nickels coverage where there's only 2 backers needed, or maybe we have a really heavy DB room that we can utilize in certain weird, unique packages. So I think I'm going to have to go again, kind of with the answer to the first question. If LVN takes a step, if Wyatt takes a step, if Gary's Gary and Clark can be Clark, that right there is a pretty good group.
Yeah, love it.
I'm going to go ahead and take care of some housekeeping here. I don't know who Bob Walter is. First time I've ever seen him in the chat. I will say this Big O has been working overtime. I banned 3 accounts that were obviously him, but it's literally just been spam, negative the entire time from Bob Walter. So, Bob, take a hike, brother.
Sit your butt outside.
There you go. Listen, you want to come in here and talk ball, and hey, man, here's where I think we struggle. Here's where you need to improve. Cool. But when you just rapid fire negative comment after negative comment in the chat, this ain't the show. There's plenty of others out there. You can go to Twitter, you'll fit right in. I promise. There's all kinds of people.
Yeah, we already got an AFAM.
We
Just
do
to
have
finish up, the chat had Bates D line, Andy Watkins cornerbacks, Zacchaeus Earls cornerback, Chuck Jaggers knows his chest sucks, and H.E. Soldier says O line.
Yeah, somebody says doesn't ban fart talk in the chat. No, you guys are free to talk about that. It's cool. Just don't come in here trying to.
Oh, trust me, they are.
Yeah.
You think God never farted?
All right. Completely agree. Chuck says Facebook groups are the worst, man. I never would have imagined the Facebook groups would be that bad. Like I had to
Terrible.
exit stage right. Like these people are the most miserable folks on the face of the planet. It's unbelievable. Let's shift gears now. And Amelia, I love the topics, by the way. Did we get everything there?
Yeah,
Did we
that's
get
it.
there?
That's it.
Those
I
are
love
some
those
hot
little
topics.
Yeah, I like those exercises, man. Sure.
Remember that cool store called Hot Topic?
Yeah, I know you shop there. There, PacSun. I know you just lit it up. You walked in there and bought every lava lamp they had.
Journeys. Oh yeah, dude. I
Jacob
lived
met-
at that mall.
Jacob met his first ex-girlfriend at Hot Topic.
His first ex-girlfriend and his second ex-wife.
She was working the desk. She was 84, but
All right, let's shift gears here, guys. I want to talk about the most underrated Packers in 2025. All right, going into this year, who do you think is going to be the most underrated Packer? Like, and what I mean by this is, as you go into this season, it's someone that maybe people aren't talking as much about, right? Or maybe they're down on them last year and they're, as the title says, underrated. And you think, hey, they're going to come out this year and just ball out, and it's really going to make a difference for the Packers. All right. If you got any questions on that topic, let me know. But let's go around the horn with that. All right. Like if you don't truly understand the question, Jacob's looking at me like I got three heads right now. Jacob, we'll start with you since you look confused. Who is your most underrated Packer of 2025?
well, I guess I was looking because I thought I should maybe go last because it'd be very suspenseful and it'd be such a cool. No, it's not. It's not that cool. I'm going with Matt LaFleur. It just to me, I wanted to originally go with Keyshawn Nixon, but Emilio laughed at me in the chat, so I said, "All right, never mind. I'm gonna change my answer real quick." And then I said Matt LaFleur, and that actually kind of made sense. So I tried to pull up some quick stats, like really quick stats. The guy just has never gotten his flowers. When he first came to Green Bay, it was in January 8th of 2019, and everybody said, well, he's got Aaron Rodgers. It was kind of similar to when Caleb Williams walked into the perfect situation. They said, Matt LaFleur is inheriting such a great team. He's got good talent. He's got Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback, blah, blah, blah. They go 13-3 that first year. He's the first rookie head coach in Packers history to win 10 games, make to the playoffs, win the NFC North, going 6-0 during that. By the way, he has the most rookie wins of any coach since Harbaugh did it in 2018. By the way, he's got a winning percentage of .648. That's the fourth active streak right now. You compare that to a guy like, I don't know, that would be one of the best of all time. Vince Lombardi had a .738. And the guy just has had no attention, the media-wise. Every single top 10 head coach list you see, he is not anywhere on that list. Anytime you see him talked about in the media, it kind of says that he's, had great success with Jordan, but he doesn't get any credit for whatever reason because they say it's, it was when Rodgers was there, it was because he has a Hall of Fame quarterback. When Rodgers leaves, it's because, well, they've got, the front office and Goody, and they invested into the cornerback room, and they've got finally a first-round wide receiver, blah, 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 blah. He's done nothing but, and don't be wrong, I don't think Matt LaFleur is perfect in any way, but the guy is a scheme wizard. And I think that he went from aw shucks Matt LaFleur to almost what I would say is too confident, too cocky belt strap Matt LaFleur. But I kind of like it. If I got to
call it Tupac LaFleur.
Tupac LaFleur. That dude's dishing out fish sandwiches, right? So
Just the tip, though.
So wow, that was a good drop. So I would just have to say that starting us off, I'll take a little bit of an obscure note and I'll say we got to give a little love to Matt LaFleur. That's my answer.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I love it. I love that he shook things up going with the head coach because obviously we had at the heart of the question is thinking about which Packers, but I think it's spot on, Jacob. I mean, that dude, what Matt LaFleur has done for this franchise is unbelievable. It's still wild that he's not talked about as one of the better coaches in the league. I would venture to say he is the highest winning percentage of any coach in NFL history that has never won Coach of the Year. I would feel comfortable saying that. Like
Yeah.
especially like you got to kind of compare apples to apples and look at the active coaches. Like Nick Sirianni, did he win it last year or was it someone else? I'm thinking Sirianni won it one year, but I could be wrong there.
Pretty sure it was Sirianni and it was obviously Chiefs Andy Reid, and there was one other guy in front of him. But yeah, every single one of those guys, I'm pretty sure for sure has won Coach of the Year.
Yeah. All right, Emilio, what about you, man? Who's your most underrated Packer of 2025?
Kevin O'Connell won the award this past year.
Oh, yeah.
So did Sirianni? I'm going to see if he ever won Coach of the Year here.
Jacob had 22 players to pick from, and he picked the coach. Love it. I have Jordan Morgan on the board. I talked about O-line in the previous segment. I think that it's going to be completely, relying on where this offense goes. If you don't have those five protecting the QB, protecting your backs, there's going to be an issue. Swiss cheese is a problem. We cannot have penalties. We can't have snap issues when it's loud, when we're on the road. We can't have silent count issues. Can't have holding penalties. All these things need to be ex-nayed and fixed. Jordan Morgan, we had a 52.9 overall PFF grade last year, 79th out of 136 guards. Pass blocking grade of 61.5 and a run blocking grade of 56.2. Only played about 185 snaps. So, didn't get a lot of burn, had to fight through some injuries. I think coming back this year out of that rookie season, get through your injury, know the offense. You've been through what an NFL offseason is, and you kind of can get your feet under you and get rolling this year. I think that, you get in there, you just fight for your position. You don't think you're a starter right now. You have no idea. You got to fight through Sean Ryan, whoever else, be a backup tackle, whatever. But I think that we do have a good player on our hands. I think get him through this injury. We'll see where he goes. His snaps this year, 65 at left guard, 120 at right guard. So let's get this dude on the field a little bit more.
All right, Emilio's going with Jordan Morgan. What about you, Tim? What are you thinking here, Big Dog?
I'm going to go with that guy from Kentucky, Carrington Valentine, man. I feel like there's been a lot of talk about our secondary, particularly cornerback room, since the departure of Jair. And I just feel like maybe I don't think I'm alone, because I know you're pretty high on CV as well, Clayton. And I know Emilio's got a lot of love for him too, Jacob as well. But feels like the fan base as a whole is kind of sleeping on our boy. And I think this is the year he's poised for a breakout season. The Jair Alexander circus has left town. And, for all intents and purposes, it's CV's room. If he can step up and take on that role and have a breakout year, I think he's going to prove to be more of the underrated Packers. A seventh-round pick, I believe, brought into the fold. Certainly doesn't play football like a seventh-round pick. And I think year 3 is going to be, poised for success for CV. That's my pick.
Yeah, with Carrington, man, the things that he did last year, it's amazing. People still don't understand. Like when you compare him to Jair Alexander's play on the field last year, they literally had the same amount of interceptions, right? Both had 2. Carrington gave up 0 touchdowns, while Jair gave up 2 touchdowns. And his passer rating when targeted, his being Carrington Valentine's, was the best on the team. The guy played as good as you would expect. And I know everybody's now referring to him as my guy, right? But if you rewind back to 2023, was I not the most anti-Carrington Valentine guy on this show? It's just like, looks like cheeks. Like, I wanted this Kentucky Wildcat to work out, but this don't look good.
That was back when he was wearing number 37.
Totally different, right?
New number, new mantra. Let's go.
And what he did last year, man, it's not too big for him. And playing that fisheye technique and just keeping his eye on the quarterback and being able to literally have a curl flat responsibility to break off in a deep third and pick the ball off. And I'm not talking about Jair, just completely abandoning his responsibility and going and getting the ball. This is a dude that he had his spot covered. Not only did he have his spot covered, but he's eyeing another spot as well when they're playing spot drop and not matchy type defense. So I'm with you with Carrington. All these have been great choices. They have. And I've got several that come to mind for me. I'm going to mention one on offense, and then I'm going to go to defense with one as well. On offense, though, Emmanuel Wilson.
Yes.
It's a good one.
I don't want to say this, but I'm going to. if Josh Jacobs were to go down with an injury, you would think, crap, we're screwed. That's one of the best running backs in the league. I feel really, really comfortable saying that if Josh Jacobs went down, Emmanuel Wilson would step in. And I'm not saying be as good as Josh Jacobs, but you wouldn't be like, crap, we can't run the football now. Based off what Emmanuel Wilson has shown, guys, it's every single year he seems to just kind of show up. Last year, he ended up he had 105 carries, I believe it was. If I'm looking at that correctly. I know he's in on 105 run plays, and there might have been some jet sweeps and whatnot. But the guy finished with an 82.9. His run grade was 86.3. 86.3. And I'll never forget the preseason game. I want to say it was against the Bengals. It was an A-gap left run. He bounces it across the formation, takes it outside. And I heard Gary Ellison on the Homer Hour say, what that kid Emmanuel Wilson did in that preseason game, I know it's preseason, that's not normal. And every time he gets his opportunity, he just seems to do the right thing. He seems to be he understands the system. He understands what his role is. His pass pro is getting better. He's catching the football better out of the backfield, and he's always been able to run the rock. That's one guy that sticks out to me. But on defense, you're going to love this one, Jacob. The most underrated is Brenton Cox Jr.
Thank you.
Like, what this dude did last year, and according to NFL Pro, he had the highest quarterback pressure percentage of anybody else on the team that wasn't a stack backer. You guys know stack backers are overly inflated because of the manipulation factor and kind of catching the offensive line off guard when you bring those straight blitzes, those red dog blitzes, things like that. But looking at what he continues to do in Brenton Cox Jr., 67.2, right? And it's like not off the chart. You don't look at it and go, wow, this dude's an all-pro player. But every time he's on the field, you go back to the same year that Carrington struggled, right? That same year, Brenton Cox Jr. is like, man, he can rush the quarterback, but he doesn't play under control. He makes us very vulnerable against the run. And last year, you really seen him clean that up. You could tell that was an emphasis that Jeff Hafley put on this defense. Now you take him coming off of his best year, Brenton Cox Jr., and now you add DeMarcus Covington in to coach him, coming out of the Bill Belichick School of Defense. I'm telling you, man, the only thing that'll hold Brenton Cox Jr. back will be lack of reps. If it's one of those situations where the Packers have kind of done this in the past, where they'll hold guys back a little bit knowing they're going into a contract year, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they give Brenton Cox Jr. as much of an opportunity to be that third rusher as anyone else on the roster. I really do. There's a chance that Barron Sorrell leapfrogs him because he's a fresh draft pick and Brenton Cox Jr. is, just kind of an undrafted guy. But if they give him the opportunities and allow him to use a pass rush move and then use a counter move and use another counter move and build up a little bit of repetition with his pass rush game, I'm telling you, man, I think Brenton Cox Jr. is really going to stick out this year. That's mine. That's the one I would choose. But I just wanted to mention Emmanuel Wilson because, man, running backs get banged up.
You know what? What I thought was a good comment here by John Johnson. He says, if Marshawn Lloyd studs out, we'll have the best running back duo in the league. I would push back on that, saying that I think we already do, John Johnson. It's just that the other guy is, like Clayton just talked about, it's Emmanuel Wilson.
And now you got a three-headed monster.
I was going to say, if anything, we've got ourselves maybe one of the most unknown. I think that would be the more like if we had a segment where it's like, who's the most unknown player going in? You have to talk about guys like probably Morgan, Lloyd, obviously all the new draft picks, but guys that we just haven't been able to see get their legs underneath them because injuries have plagued them. Maybe guys like Musgrave, that sort of thing. But man, I can't help but love the fact that Brenton Cox Jr. is legitimately starting to have some people put some respect on his name. Even when I can get Ryan to start talking about a UDFA, I'm starting to do something, man. I'm not ever going to let that fire die. Never.
All right. Anybody else you guys want to mention? Maybe one that was a close second for you? Anything like that comes to mind?
I just got one more point about my boy CV.
Yeah, man.
It's a blessing. The man turns 24 years old when this season starts, guys. He's 23, man, right now.
Yeah.
He'll be 24 in September, first week of September. So, don't sleep on CV, man. I've got a feeling that we have a star in the making here at the boundary corner spot.
The only other person I'd mention would be Carl Brooks, just because I'm pretty sure he hasn't missed a game for this team, and he was a fourth, fifth round pick from Bowling Green. I think that it's going to be something where he can step up. He's going to get a lot of reps this year. He's going to get a lot of playing time, and he's consistently on the field. That's huge.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Ravuama Vinivalu's comment here, where it says Zadarius Smith still a free agent? Worth a look? Question mark.
Um,
I've
For
got
me,
some
Isn't
thoughts.
Preston Smith is still too, right?
the only problem I have with that is the way he left Green Bay.
Yeah.
It was really, really ugly. You know, if that hadn't happened, yeah, I think it'd be worth bringing him in, right? Kicking the tires, see if he's got a little gas in the tank. I think he can still play football. But I think what you're finding, though, with Zadarius is everywhere he goes, the team just kind of wants to move on. Y'all notice that? Like, we got a saying down here, if everywhere you go, it smells like crap, probably want to check your boot. You know what I mean? Everywhere he goes, it just seems like teams are like, okay, yeah, we're done with him. Let's move on. Didn't he go? Didn't he go to,
my mouth right there?
didn't he go to Cleveland too? Am I thinking right, guys?
Yep.
So he spent time in Cleveland,
Detroit,
Minnesota,
right?
and Detroit, right?
Yeah.
So he was in.
Nobody wants him.
He's just got to become a Bear to complete the trifecta of the NFC North. You know.
Yeah. So, and again, the way he left, and I don't know if you guys caught on to this or not, but Matt LaFleur was on Bussin' with the Boys last year sometime, and he talked about an instant where he got stuck in a room with a player that was pissed off with him that they were letting go, that they were moving on from. And he got really, really confrontational. And it was just those two in there like, oh, crap, this dude's going to beat the hell out of me type thing because he's such a big guy. You can imagine. I think he was talking about Zadarius. I could be wrong, but I think he was talking about Z there. So, yeah.
Yep.
As Coach Lynn says, that bridge is burned. I agree, Coach. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad idea for the gentleman that brung that up. I think that's a great topic, a great question. I think that's what holds him back there. If it wasn't for that and how he exited and him just being like, every team just kind of wanting to push him out the door so quick. Yeah. I think he can play football. It's another Kentucky guy too. You think I'd be all over it, be a big Kentucky Wildcat fan, but yeah,
it's kind of the Jair factor with him too, right? Like he's still young enough, but he's getting older. And then it's like, how many games is he going to play? Is he going to play 8 or 9 games for you? He's dealt with back issues. He's had injury issues in the past. So it's not just about the bad taste in our mouth as Packer fans towards Zadarius. It's also the fact that, when he's on the field and he's available, yeah, he can still play. I agree, Clayton. He can play at a high level, but how often is that, And we just went through that with Ja. I don't think we want to do it again.
And do you think he's going to be content being a 4th-round situational pass rusher that is maybe even less than that? Because like we just talked about, we're not going to give up snaps for LVN, Gary, even probably guys like my boy Cox and some of the new guys that we got on there. If Olivier or Oliver, if he tries to come in and has some spark to him, it's like I don't see Z being the type of team guy to come back to a team that he's already got beef with and just say, "Oh, I'm content just to play whenever you guys need me to play." I just don't see that in his personality.
I agree. H.E. Soda, I would rather develop a young guy than bring a guy like Z
Great
in.
point.
Yeah. Yep. Really, really good point. I like what Chase Green says here too. Barron Sorrell and Devontae White on that TE stunt is something I want to see. Barron Sorrell, man, his tape is fun to watch. It really is. Barron Sorrell is one of those dudes that, it's like we were in the bowl when they drafted him, and it's funny too because like we're sitting in the bleachers at Lambeau Field watching the draft when they drafted him. And I don't know about you guys, but Emilio, Tim, I didn't pick up on he's here. This is all dramatic and all this is going on. I'm looking around going, squirrel.
Yeah.
This is
I was waiting for my chance to kick a field goal.
Right. You were.
It just didn't work out. Yeah.
So, but I say that because after that story dropped, it's like, oh, yeah, everybody loves Barron Sorrell now because he traveled to the draft and it's this feel-good story. No, when you forget all that and you go look at the tape and his build and everything and you hear – they said one of the reasons that Goody drafted him or wanted to draft him, put him so high, they're big on high character guys, that every person that they scouted in Texas, they would ask him a question. If you could, as a part of the interview process, if you can bring one teammate with you to your NFL team, who would it be? Every single Texas player that they interviewed said Barron Sorrell. That's pretty cool, man.
That's why you got to love Gangster Goody for pulling the trigger, baby.
So you're saying everybody went to his birthday party?
I think they did, Jacob. I think they did go to his birthday.
I'm not saying everyone, but most of them went.
I'll tell you somebody that's not going to Caleb Williams' birthday party. It's this dude right here. This guy right here, Evan Williams, absolutely wrecked Caleb Williams in college. If you guys haven't seen that, go watch the tape from their college matchup where he just, absolutely.
Well, Caleb's having his birthday party at McDonald's, and I'm sure Evan Williams has a little more class than that. So.
Those were killer birthday parties.
So let's dive into a
that, or
it's such a clean Photoshop. All right, let's move it along to Evan Williams. 3 reasons the Packers safety Evan Williams is going to shine in 2025. All right. The Packers' new look offense gets all the buzz, and rightfully so, but the most critical addition from 2024 draft might be rookie safety Evan Williams, who's poised to transform the defense. While draft analysts called him a reach, that was me, by the way. I was one of those dudes when they drafted Evan Williams. I was looking at the board going, man, that seems like that's a little high for him. So that was definitely, I fall into that category. Williams quietly dominated, earning some of the best grades among safeties by midseason. He wasn't just a rotational player. He was a game changer. This isn't just about a surprising rookie year. Williams' unique skills are key to unlocking Jeff Hafley's defensive vision. Here are 3 reasons why he's about to become a household name in Green Bay, starting with what makes him the perfect weapon for the new era Packers defense. All right. So let's look into it. Reason number 1, versatility and football IQ. Evan Williams is set for a massive 2025 because he embodies Jeff Hafley's defensive philosophy. His versatility and football IQ drive the entire secondary. Hafley's zone-heavy 4-3 defense relies on disguise, showing one-look pre-snap and shifting at the snap. This requires smart, instinctive players, and Williams delivers. His football intelligence, often called a FBI, lets him read offenses pre-snap, anticipate plays, and position himself perfectly. He consistently disrupts plays by reading quarterbacks' eyes and breaking on routes with aggression. On the field, his versatility shines. Hafley can deploy him as a deep safety in the box like a linebacker or covering a tight ends in the slot. This flexibility confounds offenses. Imagine Williams creeping up near the line, baiting a pass play, then dropping into a deep zone to steal the quarterback's target. That hesitation creates sacks for Gary and Wyatt. That's the Hafley effect, powered by Williams. We talk about pressure pick, coverage, sack, right? When you can disguise that coverage look pre-snap and then do that late rotation and get back, that half a second of hesitation by the quarterback, Emilio, that's how you get in there and sack the quarterback. It says he's also a playmaker. At Oregon, he notched 4.5 sacks, showing blitz prowess, which we haven't seen much of that in Green Bay yet. That's something they may be looking to unlock this year. While underused in that role as a rookie, it's another tool for Hafley in 2025. Paired with All-Pro Xavier McKinney, Williams forms part of one of the NFL's smartest safety tandems. Their shared wavelength lets the defense get creative without mental errors, making Williams far more than just a safety. I've been watching his tape all afternoon long, and I did not recognize that last year, of how much they moved him around, Emilio, how they would let him slide in the box. They do a late rotation back out. And it was not too big for him. The moment was not too big for him.
Right, right. Asking him to be able to be all over the field all at the same time is huge. You know, being able to do that as a rookie is even better, right? And the fact that Jeff Hafley had the confidence in him to be able to handle all those tasks, that's key. I mean, the dude that you have the FBI, that you have the intelligence, that you're able to process everything in your rookie season. I just can't. I'm so excited for everybody that has been, that's a rookie coming into this year. Every time after their rookie season, I just cannot wait to see them on the field that second year, and just hope that everything they've learned and able to branch out from. I do think Evan Williams has a chance to be a breakout. Those sacks, I don't know if they're going to use him as a blitzer, but I like that he has that in the bag because he can hunt down quarterbacks.
Yeah, definitely. Reason number 2, the proof is in the production. An all-rookie caliber season. The second reason is clear. Williams has already proven himself as a 4th-round rookie. He didn't just survive, he thrived, delivering one of the most efficient seasons among defensive rookies. In 2024, he played 13 games, starting 6, and was vital by season's end, playing every snap in the Packers' wildcard playoff game. He recorded 49 tackles, 3 pass breakups, a forced fumble, and an interception, earning a spot on the Pro Football Writers of America all-rookie team. You look at some of the advanced analytics here as well. Evan Williams finished with the 3rd best passer rating when targeted. Okay, now keep in mind, Robert Rochelle, Omar Brown, minimal snaps. Katano Ladapo, very few snaps. He had a 39.6. Xavier McKinney pretty much played every snap, 59.0. Right behind him was Evan Williams at a 67.5. It says advanced stats highlighted his impact. Pro Football Focus gave him a 72.3 overall grade, ranking 24th of 98 safeties. Remarkable for a day 3 pick. His 73.8 coverage grade ranked 17th. I repeat, his 73.8 coverage grade ranked 17th, and he allowed just a 67.5 passer rating when targeted, 9th best among 103 safeties. Against the run, his run stop rate tied for 6th best league-wide. This silenced critics who knocked the pick, that's me again, calling him unreliable in coverage. Because you guys remember when we watched the tape on draft night, Tim, that whole draft party we did, when we watched the tape, it's like, man, he's dominant against the run, but where are the pass snaps? Why aren't we seeing him making plays in the passing game?
Right.
Well, he shut me up last year, Tim.
And lo and behold, he gets drafted, and we see him in the NFL. And what is his strong suit? It's the pass game, right? So it all depends on how you develop, I guess. I'm with you, Clay. I remember having kind of a similar reaction. We thought it was a little bit of a reach in the 4th to grab him. I remember being really excited about Javon Bullard in that pick. I had no idea that Evan Williams was going to have the rookie year that he did. And like Emilio said, man, of all the year 2 guys on this team, I think E. Will might be the dude that I'm the most excited to see this year in year 2 for sure.
It goes on to point out here, too, by midseason, he was making game-clinching plays like a pass breakup to seal a win over the Rams in Week 5 and a forced fumble against the Cardinals in Week 6. When we do Chalk Talk in a minute, you'll see that play. He achieved this while learning a new system and adjusting to NFL speed, proving the Packers found a stud in the 4th round. Jacob, what do you think about Evan, what we've covered so far? Is there anything you disagree with there, anything we're leaving out?
No, I just think that I remember the few episodes or the specific episode that Tim was talking about, because we highlighted, who obviously I was a Bullard guy. We all love Katano Ladapo. And I remember we talked about Evan Williams, and I think even myself, I was like, he seems like he can come up and kind of be that boom guy. I think I even called him a human meat missile type of player. But we all agreed that was kind of limited. That was his thing. He was just kind of an assassin. He wasn't. He was a liability in coverage, I think, was what all of us agreed. And then lo and behold, once the draft settles, I think, like Tim said, I was so ecstatic that we got Bullard. That was like.
Right. And then Bull ends up being the one that's a liability in coverage.
Well, and that's what's crazy.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah. And so I really do still have hope for both of these guys to make their perspective steps forward, or the second year leap, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, we talk about it all the time, Clayton. You talk about if a defensive guy, specifically in the secondary or really any position, if they score decently in the 60s, you're like, you got yourself something there. When a guy like I didn't realize that he was, what was the stats? It was 17th and 24th.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Right. Not bad for a guy whose college tape looked bad in the pass game, right?
Right. And again, that goes back to the old theory. We don't know what he was asked to do. We know the coverages. We know exactly we don't know exactly what specifically, even we can call it a nickel. We can call it a drop. We can call it a press, whatever you want to say. We don't know exactly what somebody was telling him to do in those positions, and whether or not the guys around him made him a successful player. And guess what? This is the NFL. It's not like you're in a college squad. You've got, like Amelia says, that 11, that 22, whatever. Those are pros. Those are dogs. So maybe all of a sudden you get in a group of guys where you don't have to worry about what everyone else is doing. You get to focus on your craft, your zone, your man, whatever you want to say. I just think the sky's the limit for this guy.
Yeah, our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So.
Reason number 3, the leap, growth, leadership, and Hafley system. The final reason is Williams' trajectory. His rookie year showed rapid growth, positioning him for a massive second-year leap. Early in 2024, he played just 34 defensive snaps over 4 games, but his play and preparation forced coaches to start him by Week 5, a role he held until a late-season injury. This jump from rotational player to starter in a month shows his ability to adapt. Williams learned best in the fire, and after a full NFL season, he's no longer just reacting, he's anticipating. He said he wants to be more proactive, using formation knowledge to diagnose plays. This is the step from good to great. The timing is perfect. The Packers secondary, with the departure of Jair Alexander, needs young leaders. Williams fits the bill. Matt LaFleur praises his work ethic and mentality, noting he, quote, just works, end of quote. This sets the tone for the secondary. In year 2 under Hafley, the defense is primed for a leap. Year 1 installed the basics. Year 2 brings creativity with more complex disguises and a faster unit. Williams, learning from McKinney and trusted by coaches, is central to this evolution. His rookie year was a foundation. 2025 will be the skyscraper. It goes on to say, Evan Williams' case is clear. His football IQ and versatility makes him Hafley's ideal weapon. He's proven himself with all rookie stats and elite advanced metrics. His growth and fit in the system signal a huge leap in 2025. Among the Packers' young talent, Williams could tie the defense together. He's smart, tough, and always around the ball. He's always around the football. And you're going to see on the tape here in a minute him closing the gap by like 20 yards. It's unbelievable. Green Bay didn't just draft a starting safety. They may have found their secondary centerpiece for years. What do you think? Am I too high on Williams, or do you see him shining in 2025? If you're watching this later on YouTube, on the edit, let us know in the comments what you think. Are we too high on Evan Williams, or do we think that's warranted hype there? As Braden Fielding says in the chat. As Braden says in the chat, Evan is the best hot man we have. He's always celebrating with his teammates when they make a play. I noticed that too. And when he makes a play, man, you could just tell it's fire on fire. You need that spark plug on your defense, man. And here's the thing. McKinney is great, and McKinney's still young. I think he's going to be turning 26 this year, right, this season.
Wow, yeah.
But think about this. In 3 years, when McKinney's contract's up, Evan Williams will be stepping into that age, 26, 27, somewhere around there, right? And hopefully he continues to improve, Emilio, and now you got the next great safety to step right into that role.
That's exactly it. And then as a backup plan, you still have Bullard, who you took in the second round. This is just a cherry on top that the fourth rounder that you picked up has this ability and is, jumped out to it's like you picked up a Zach Tom on defense.
Yes.
So I mean, having that ability, having that luck or the skill of, drafting somebody with that kind of talent in that round, I mean, we're in good shape, seriously. And the fact that he's learning from somebody like X is just all the more better. I mean, honestly.
And you're right, Clay. X turns 26 a week after family night. So
That's what I'm saying.
first preseason game against the Jets is his birthday. So happy early birthday to X.
Yeah, I mentioned on one of our posts the other day, and when we did a show, that he was 26, and it's amazing how people in the YouTube comments, he's 25, LOL. It's like, oh my god!
All right,
Actually,
3.5 weeks.
Unbelievable. So yeah, Jacob, what do you think, man? Anything else you want to add to the Evan Williams talk, man? I'm excited about this kid. What do you see the tape here in a second, man? We pulled some really cool clips.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like what Packers Kingdom said. By the way, I look like the neighbor from Home Improvement right here. I'm just kind of peeking over the fence just to
Wilson.
Look here. Wilson, thank you. He says, "Can we thank the safeties coaches, please? They need to rise. We came from Savage, Owens. I think he said, can we thank the safeties coaches, please? They need a raise. We came from Savage, Owens, and Rudy Ford, even though I liked them, to X, Williams, Catan, Zane, Bullard. God bless the safety coaches." I mean, I'm not sure if they're the same exact ones there, but just the effect. I would more thank Goot.
I was just going to say, I mean,
Yeah, right.
God bless this guy, Like,
Yeah.
It's a clean do-rag, too. H.E. Soder with the super chat. Thank you, Soder. He says, Packers have not really seen defensive players make a big year to second-year jump. Is there a reason to think that Hafley's scheme changes this? I was just thinking this while I was reading that article to you guys, Soder. The way that Hafley adjusted about a third of the way through the season and changed that defense up and really started going to the simulated pressures, right, and doing some of that stuff, he didn't waste any time to adjust. So maybe he will be quick to adjust and get these guys in a position to be successful a lot quicker. I would anticipate these guys to take a year or two jump. The problem is offenses are now caught on to that scheme. And it doesn't mean they're going to go out there and just light us up and we're going to be a bottom 5 defense. But what it does mean is your coordinator cannot be so caught up in this is what I like to do and this is all I'm doing. And that's why it gives me a little bit of hope that Hafley, we may take a slight step back on defense just because of the tape that's out there now. But with his ability to be able to adjust and maneuver as he goes along, that's why the fourth quarter defense, if I remember correctly, was so darn good last year, is because he's making those adjustments right down the stretch, as where other coordinators would just know stick to what we do. Stick to what we do. So yeah, appreciate the super chat there, man. I think you're going to see some year 2 jump, man. I think it's unrealistic to expect Edgerrin Cooper to take another step because he was just so damn good last year, right?
Yep.
But when you look at people like Javon Bullard, that's one. If he gets meaningful reps, if somebody gets banged up and he gets put back in, I think he will be more comfortable in this defense this year than he was last year. Like Emilio pointed out all year long, one week he's having to play nickel, the next week they're making him jump back to safety because people are getting banged up and injured. That's a tough thing to ask a rookie to do. And you know what? He was good enough to stay on the field, and in the slot, he played pretty damn good against the run. So, anything else on Evan Williams? Just thank you for the super chat, Soder. Anything, boys?
Nothing on Williams, but Andy Monday, he said, sorry, boys, I just missed 15 seconds of the pod because YouTube was showing us a Culver's commercial.
Cheese curds make my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them, though.
Yeah. All I'm saying is me and Emilio, let's maybe reach out to Culver's and see if they want to sponsor the best show of all time.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Let me know when y'all find that show, by the way. Check that out.
Clayton, can you give a little explanation to Boz? He says he's been away for a while. What's with this number 1, number 2, number 3 jazz? And how do I join this game? That's
the comments. That's just in the YouTube comments, Boz. As the more you interact, the more you get points. Super chat gets you, I think, 50 points a chat or something like that. So, you just go ahead and keep on chatting. The more you chat, the higher you rank.
More points you get, and then you have to you get a tattoo from Emilio on your butt.
Now, in terms of the super chats, it can be a little tricky because, I think they set it up this way for a reason. If someone just came in and they dropped a big spot like a 20 spot, that doesn't shoot you to the top. I think
it's first super chat, right?
First super chat. So what that means is if you're thinking I'll drop $10 to be the MVP tonight, spread that thing out, maybe $2 super chats. You know what I mean? That'll get you up the rankings. But yeah, it's just a way to highlight people who are very, very active in the chat, and also you get a little bonus there for super chat. So it keeps up with XP is what it does. And right now the top fans in the chat is H.E. Solder running away with it at 350 XP, then Bates at 150, and then you got John Johnson, the Boz, you've got Andy Watkins, Braden Fielding, a bunch of people. Like the next 15 are all at 75 XP. So right now Solder running away with it. So
good to have you back, Boz, by the way.
Yeah.
Been away for a bit, but still PTA royalty for sure.
He said, I need to take a break from Clayton's accent. I can't. I'm losing IQ over here, man. So.
Bates also highlights a good point. He says it resets every live show too as well. And Holmes was saying, the super chats are escalators. So good points there.
I love how y'all understand how this works better than me, the host. It's hilarious. So that's no surprise, though, right? All right, y'all ready to do some chalk talk? Evan Williams, you want to dive into the tape a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. So we always give this disclaimer, guys, that at any point the stream could go down when we do these chalk talks. Okay, just keep in mind we will have it up later. All right, so if you guys want to just go watch the video later, you can do that. However, we're going to stay live. If the stream goes down, while we're talking here, then we're going to stay live on X and on Rumble. Okay, so you can just hop over there if you want to continue to watch it live. AFAM's mom in the chat says, I ran over my neighbor's cat. Ugh, sorry I'm late.
Hey, plus side, she got dinner though.
There you go.
That's
All
terrible.
Right. Let's jump into it, boys. Evan Williams tape. Listen, the main thing, 2 things I want people to understand while we're doing this is, Boss says, damn, she's hot, is where are they aligning? What are they asking him to do, right? That's the main thing you want to – it's great that he buzzes down and makes these tackles. It's great that he's, attacking the football and helping in the run game and all this stuff, breaking all balls, breaking passes up. But the main thing is, like, what are they asking him to do as a rookie, right? And I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed here. So right here, they're showing kind of a 2-high look, if you can see, right? You've got basically 2 safeties deep here on the screen. So he's showing deep safety there, and you see the red circle. And as we roll the tape here, if it will roll, we may have a technical difficulty here.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
This ain't good. This ain't good at all.
The super's down.
What's that?
Said the super's down. Good job, Jacob.
Yeah, thanks, Jacob. Let me try it one more time here.
Why do I get the strap, man?
I got some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
This show
My-
just got real.
My hamster is on speed, man. He's going hard. Mine's going good.
I think I know what happened. I've got a folder now created with all the Chalk Talks in it. So I think I had moved it to a folder before or after I had already loaded it up. And that's why here we go. Now we're good to go, man. I can't wait to you guys to watch this dude buzz down in the box. Man, he does not play like a rookie. Like, he did not play like a rookie at all. And you just see how comfortable he looks on the field. So here he is in that shell look, right? They're showing kind of a too high shell. Now watch him buzz down in the box at the last six. So as a quarterback, you go to the line of scrimmage, you gather information, right? And you're thinking, okay, too high. They're in a too high look. They're in a shell look, right? Look, right as the ball snap, get him break in. Watch him attack the football through two blockers, shoves that dude off to the side, comes in and cleans it up with Quay.
That's why Quay was able to make a play there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again,
I mean,
look how
that's all E will charging right there. Bang.
Yeah.
Somebody forgot about Quay because they had to worry about Williams.
Yeah. Again, just look how he navigates through traffic. Good balance, right? Like it's like the game is not too big for him.
Do you
Right.
think that motion was his man? That's why he went. That's why he spurred so fast. Like he went
think
with
it
the
was.
motion coming across.
That's a good
Yep.
point.
Yep. And again, that's something like, you know how easy it would be. You can still see he tries to hold his water till the very end, right?
Right.
Like he doesn't want to tip it. But here's the thing though, Emilio, if it is man coverage right there,
He wants to get on him. He doesn't want that swing pass to happen fast or whatever. Even if it was a jet sweep or whatnot.
let's see if everybody else is in man. Let's watch everybody else around. I don't know, man. I don't know if they were in man or not there, Emilio. Now he could have been just, playing that curl flat, right? That his responsibility could have been here, and this guy's just going to drop into the hook curl while he attacks the curl flat. That could have been the case there as well. But nonetheless, though, man, my man is fighting. There's definitely man coverage up top. So yeah, you're probably right, Emilio.
I think Bull just kind of sat a little bit and was looking inside. And when his man went and blocked down immediately, he said, "All right, screw it. I'm just gonna flush this thing out, make sure he doesn't get outside of me."
Right.
I think what's more impressive is that he decides so fast and takes such an angle that you watch both the pulling tight end and the offensive lineman. They're like, are you getting him? I can't get him. Are you getting him? And then he splits between the two of them, and they both look at each other like, oh man.
Yeah, no, it's a great play, great play. So again, there you see him attacking the run, right? From a shell position, a too high look, right? Now let's move it along. So he's off screen here, okay? So he's actually off the screen here playing deep again, and it's probably a deep too high look there as well. Watch him fly down this ball and make a play. You're just going to see him fly into the picture at the last second, and watch him punch this ball out for the fumble. Look. Bang, ball out. And again, when you watch him attack the football, watch him throw this punch. Look at his right hand. Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And look at the difference between him and Ja. Ja just going to kind of put a little shoulder in there.
Not even.
Evans coming in there like Muhammad Ali, sucker punching that ball. Bang.
I think that's credit to Jeff Hafley in this defense about playing the ball all the time. Go for the ball.
That's the truth. I mean, look at Ja's left arm. He doesn't even wrap. It's just, let me throw the outside shoulder as I'm bending in to try to take out your hip. You're taught stick. The first guy's got to stick him up. The second dude punches out, right? The second and third guy, they're trying to rip that ball out. But man, I mean, you could at least try to wrap up the thigh or something, Ja.
Right. And the other thing too is like, think of the stark contrast between Carrington Valentine's tape where we showed you guys the other day, him coming in and making tackles on the run and attacking the smoke screens. And then you see that's the difference between, him and Ja, right? Ja's a much better cover corner. I guarantee you that at this point in Carrington's career, but Carrington's willing to stick his nose in there. Evan Williams, though, man, he's fearless. That don't look like a rookie right there.
Did you see Quay crank out his fist too, Tim? I mean, my man was about ready.
He was ready.
Rallying to the ball, right? Play the ball, not the man, right?
Let's slow it down. I think this is Quay right here, right?
Yeah, no, watch. He loads up for a haymaker, then stops and throws a quick jab. Watch right there.
Then a kidney punch. Gotta love it.
But I think that's a great point, though. Like you said, he I don't think, maybe other than a handful of times last year, did Williams look like a rookie. I think once we got past, week 5, 6, into that point of the season, he started to look like he belonged. And that's why we're so excited for year 2 with him.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move along to the next play. Feel free to read those chats. I can't see them because
Bate says Quay had it cock locked and ready to rock on that one. For sure.
There you go. You heard it from a fan right here. So, all right, here we are again. You see him in the red circle. So they're doing a double A gap mug. When you guys hear us talk about that,
Coffee house.
what we're talking about here, you see the backers are mugging the A gap, right? They call it a double barrel or a double A mug.
Could have swore Matt said that in one of his interviews or something. They called it coffee house when they had that double mug.
Is that right? And notice this too, guys. There's only one guy with his hand in the dirt. Everyone else is standing.
Is that Preston?
Yeah.
Poor Preston.
Yeah. Preston said, I'm too old. I might have been over here and get a run and go here. So they're showing a double A gap mug. Here's the question. Are they going to drop them out, right? That's what's going to come down to. We did that a lot last year. We'll show blitzing bringing 6 or 7, and then we actually only bring 4, right? But notice Evan Williams, they're kind of on that flat line on the backside. So here we got what we call it's not really a smoke screen. It's just kind of a flat. It's not really a bubble. Usually a bubble will kind of bend backwards on a screen, but they're setting up these blockers, right? And the goal is take the 2 outside guys and let this tight end or whoever it is get on the outside because Evan Williams can't make that play. You know what I mean? He can't go all the way around and make that tackle. You see what I'm saying? Watch Evan Williams. Look at him attack this football. Still gets the guy.
Jeez.
And who was that battling up there? Who was that smaller?
Quay. I'm sorry.
Oh,
that's
it's
Cooper.
Keyshawn. Look at Keyshawn.
Keyshawn.
Yeah.
Ain't that right, Emilio?
Here's the guy.
I was looking at Cooper on the running back over there on the top of the.
Yeah. That's just great complimentary football right there. Seriously. Like Keyshawn attacks his guy, takes him to the ground. Cooper with a swim move there, right? That's 2 rookies right there. 2 rookies making that play. I love that Edgerrin Cooper got flexed out because they took the T out there. And he's like, no problem. I'll cover this guy one-on-one. No problem at all. So they actually started to bring the blitz, but they dropped Carl Brooks in the coverage. You see it, 94 drop underneath. But again,
I love the chase. I love that everybody. Look how many guys are running to the football there at the end of the play. I mean, they're not giving up 1, 2, and just it's a mentality. The fact that you got 8 dudes running to the ball.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. Big hog mollies too, man. So there you go. You see him attacking the screen pass underneath. Evan Williams making the tackle there. Again, Keyshawn Nixon, great rep. Edgerrin Cooper, great rep. Everybody recognized their role, getting there and blow that thing up. All right, so now you got him playing a little post safety, right? When we say post, guys, this is what we're talking about right here. Playing deep center field, okay? And with Hafley's defense, the majority of it is a cover 6, cover 3 type zone defense. So it's deep third if it was a cover 3 and not a true cover 6. So how many – what's the hat count here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's all 11 players, right? So they're showing a 3 deep look here, right? A single high look, I say, middle field close. But look where he's going. Remember the article we just read and how we talked about how he disguises that look, right? This is what we're talking about as a rookie. Look how he disguised that. I mean, he's even leaning on his left foot as the ball snapped, right? Like almost like, hey, I'm going to be bending over here like a cover 6 look. Nope. Attack the outside. So he's got curl flat responsibilities. Bang.
And I love how decisive he is too, right? Once the ball snapped, he's just going. He's on the line. He's going, look, let me stutter, get out of the way, make a play on the ball.
Plus, you watch the quarterback's eyes because there's a chance where if that other receiver slips out right there, he's wide open. But he's already seeing that the quarterback's locked in on that little out route there.
Yep. And if he doesn't stutter there and gets chipped, we're in trouble. See, right there, he just drags and gets to his man. I love it.
Is that cover 2 invert or something? I mean, do you see Zane Anderson stalking
deep.
at the line and just beelining it back to center field?
Yeah, and what Emilio's talking about is he's mugging the line, and then Zane Anderson drops back, right? Xavier McKinney got an interception doing that last year. I want to say it was against Jacksonville. I could be wrong. But, yeah, so let's see if we can determine what this play is. So, obviously, we know where our boy goes here. He goes curl flat, right? And you got Tyron Hopper showing blitz, but he's going to drop into hook curl, all right? I think what we've got here is Zane Anderson's covered deep third. So
maybe they mugged him. Maybe they just inverted that. They inverted the center third.
Yep, that's what it looks like. And he's just going to put his numbers to the line of scrimmage and get back right. And you see where he's looking for work. He's looking for the 2 or the 3 if they're in a trip set, right? Because he knows that's going to be the vertical presence here. So they get a stack look out here. So what you're going to notice with Zane Anderson, he's showing blitz, and as he drops, he's going to lock on here. Whether it's the one or the two that goes vert, he knows if and then. If he goes vertical, then it becomes man coverage. That's that zone match type look. So that's what he's looking at because he knows our Evan Williams is dropping down. That's a great eye, Emilio. So Zane Anderson dropping deep. I'm pretty sure deep third, curl flat, hook curl. Probably got a hook curl right here with Eric Wilson as well.
Hey, who's that to Zane's left there? Is that Debo lined up off sides? You know he ain't worried about him.
Is that, would you consider that a form of like a robber formation, Clayton? Or how would you, like when you have that disguise and then one guy that's seemingly almost on the line of scrimmage drops back as they do that switch?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me would be a spur drop. So it's a cover 3 spur drop because he's playing spur safety. It's what you call spur, that box safety. That's kind of a college term. You know, other people call it, you know, they call it all kinds of different things depending on what coaching staff you're working with. But yeah, I would call it like a spur drop because he's going to drop into 3, right? So when you talk about, did you say robber? Is that what you said, Jake?
Yeah.
So with robber is typically when you've got a too high look with the safeties. So let's say Zane, forget Zane's right here right now. And let's say that Zane is actually right here and you got a too high look, okay? Whichever safety goes to the middle of the field underneath, typically like with a cover 1, you've got a robber where the safety will come down and rob in the middle, and you got the safety that's playing post or center field, right? Gotcha. Now, if you've got that same safety, again, pretend like he's not there, and let's say he's lined up here, okay? If he's just going to play like a hook curl, like he's just going to come down here and play hook curl, and this guy's going to, you know, cover deep or whatever, then that's just going to be your hook curl. It's going to be what we call buzz, right? Cover 3 buzz. But yeah, so robber
that's
is
straight B's. They called me Buzz.
That's right. Robber is when the safety comes down and covers the mid zone in a man coverage situation, right? Drop is when a backer drops out. So let's say that safety is in that spot and they're in a cover 1 man. Let's say that we're playing cover 1 drop. Then this safety would have this man coverage here. And what's going to happen is one of these backers would play hole. That's what you call cover 1 hole. And then that safety would be covered deep. So you got a mid zone underneath, a single zone over the top, everyone's man coverage across the board. Typically you get a 4-man rush unless a running back staying in. And then that turns into a green dog blitz for the backer that's man coverage on the running back. So if that answer your question, Jacob?
Yeah, completely.
Good deal. So again, Evan Williams breaking on the curl flat. And I just love that he stops the play. I think this was a 3rd down, if I remember correctly, too. Like, look at the sticks. Look at where our boy got to and made the play. And keep in mind, he was playing deep safety, right? So, great play. Heck of a play there. That's that anticipation we're talking about. He doesn't play like a rookie. So, here he is showing a deep look here, right? And let's see how this play unfolds. Now, they do a little bit of orbit motion there, right? Trying to get a little trickery. Let's see what happens there. Evan flat-footed, keying in, going to fake the pass or fake the handoff, right? And I think what they're doing is setting up this reverse now, right? Look at Evan Williams already. Look at the lean on his body.
Yep, he ain't falling for it.
Look. Now watch this. It'd be real easy just to play out of control, right? Watch him right here. Look at him dip under that block, right? Again, playing with good balance, playing with good leverage. Dips under that block.
Quay made a good play there too.
Right.
Yep. Except at the end when he
yes, I know.
But luckily Williams is here. Look at whoops, bang.
Oh,
yeah, love it.
Yeah, great job. Just attacking the reverse. And again, we're not used to this with safety play. Go ahead, Emilio.
No, I was just saying, turning back inside. I know Quay kind of slipped there a little bit, but you have hats to the ball on the inside numbers and
Bullard.
Yep, exactly. And Evan Williams just decided, don't even mess with getting your hand. If that old lineman gets your hands on you, it's over. Just get right by him, keep moving forward.
Was that Devontae Wyatt flying out there? Who is that, 95 or 96 at the end here?
That's
coming over?
That's a good question, Tim. I think it's 96. It might be 95. I'm trying to see.
Okay.
Look, I think it is Wyatt. I could be wrong, but look, I love how he hits to it.
He smokes him.
Hey, never miss out on an opportunity to just smack a quarterback right in the rib cage. You know what I mean? Just hit him there.
Speaks to Emilio's point about everybody rallying again to the ball. We had the head count one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you got 5 green jerseys around one ball carrier.
Yeah.
That's all
Look
you
at
need.
Keyshawn Nixon on the outside too. Watch how he does not let them get to the sideline. Watch, he's going to straight arm. See him now. Look,
Yep.
outside shoulder. He
Nice.
knows where his gap is.
See, and those are the things that are important to point out because nobody sees that. Nobody
You're
ever
talking
talks
Bull,
about
right?
those kind of things.
No. Look behind him. That's what I was thinking because I'm watching Bull, and you can watch him. He does a great job. Watch Quay. He does a great job. Drop back. That bottom player there. That's Keyshawn throwing
Yeah,
Dude,
that.
they both did it. That's got to be a Halfley or a DA teaching point or whatever. I mean, that's what they want them to do. Outside hand, obviously, and your inside hand stick, extend, and then outside hand free.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Emilio. Bullard
That's
Bullard
2
played
perfect
great.
reps from both of them. Both of them have the extension. It just happened a second after each other.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is what we're looking at right here, guys. Watch both these defenders right here. They know they've got to play outside half of the block, right?
Yep.
You got to seal this is their responsibility out here. If this thing gets cut back for 6, it ain't on them. You got to
Right.
cover your spot, right? And Bullard, yeah.
And to your point, circle Zay McDuffie and circle Xavier McKinney on that play. That's why they're able to, play with that confidence because if it gets cut back inside, we got numbers there too, like Emilio
Heck,
was
even
saying.
Stokes is there for Lord's sake.
Right. That's weird.
Here's a guy.
All right, so here's a good look right here. So they're coming out in a Trey right look again. So that's 3 targets to the right, one of which is the Y. If it was all wide receivers, then it would be trips because there's a tight end attack or a tight end as a part of those 3. That's what we refer to as Trey. And to me, this looks like man coverage, right? This looks like it's man. This is just pre-snap. It doesn't mean it is man, right? And now you're seeing the post safety, right, playing deep. So that's what it looks like, which means you probably got a hole underneath as well. And then you probably got man here. That's at least what they're showing pre-snap. Now let's clear the board. Let's watch Evan Williams on this snap. So he's kind of got that tight end, right? Look at this. He's got to go all the way across the formation. Yeah, so you see Quay. Quay's playing hole, right? Everybody else is man coverage, it looks like. But watch Evan Williams come all the way across the formation. Now he's playing Robert, Jacob. You see it?
Yep.
So, and here's the thing, too, with Halfley, I noticed this last year. It's almost like once they cross the face, all right, Quay, this becomes man for you now. Now you cover the hole because you've got better leverage. It's almost like they interact that way. But
It's like
again,
you were talking about last year, if and then, right?
Absolutely. So it looks like it's man coverage across the board. Evan's going to settle down in the middle of the field. So notice, Evan, let's take it back a couple frames. So he's kind of looking at the Y. And once the Y crosses, Quay's got him now. So watch Evan is going to square up, read the quarterback's eyes, and now he's going to go looking for work. Bang.
This is a great example of doesn't look like a rookie. This does
Remember the
not
article,
look like a rookie.
FBI, right, Tim?
Yep.
That's it right there. Just being able to not panic, read and react, read what they're trying to accomplish here.
And knowing that he doesn't need to light him up. He doesn't need to Vontae's perfect him or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It doesn't give him the
Play the
Antonio
ball now,
Brown.
man. Yep.
Exactly. He knows that him just doing his assignment, he doesn't even have to lower his shoulder that much. There's no way there's a catch there. It's just not.
Yeah.
I just think it's a great testament to his ability, like to be working right like that.
He still laid him out.
I know. And it did it legally, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a great.
You could see Quay with the wave too. Did you see that?
Yep.
The left.
Yep.
Watch Quay's left arm. He's telling him right here. Watch.
Yep.
Look. Go.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it. So it's almost like as they cross the face, hey, you pick him up now. It's man coverage, but it's almost like there's a match principle. If and then, right? If he crosses Evan's face, then it becomes man coverage for Quay Walker.
Yep.
So
And again, his strong suit, right? We know Quay is one of our better cover backers.
yeah, it really is, man. Especially in like over the top space, right?
Yep.
Attacking the flats, he doesn't seem as comfortable attacking the flats. But
You know where I think if Quay can become like Tim just pointed out, that subtle community. We talk about communication, how it's so underrated. If you can do it mid play, like when the play starts, if these guys can be yelling, pointing, and shouting at each other, it shows what can happen in a split second. You can make that difference in that play.
I would love to see Quay become what X is to the safety room.
Right.
I would love to see Quay become that to the linebacker room.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. So here we're showing a shell look. Now, obviously, we're inside the 5, inside the 5 here with the Rams. Evan, the way it looks right here, to me, this looks like man coverage on the Y, right? You probably got man coverage here, You probably got a little spy right here looking for the quarterback to scramble. I imagine that you've got man here, and McKinney's just going to kind of read the quarterback and go looking for work, right? That's what it looks like. So key in on Evan Williams. Let's see what they do with the Y motions. So look at Evan. He's going to come with him, right? That's man coverage. I love this. Look, they start outside. You see everybody how this, Evan's target kind of busts outside. They're trying to create havoc here underneath and make these three defenders kind of run into each other. But watch Evan down here. Evan holds his water, right? Going to cut it back in. A little bit of contact, but look, a little subtle wrap all over that dude. When you look at that play and to think he makes that play right here when pre-snap, from the offense's perspective, he was playing right safety deep in that shell look, that pre-snap shell. Hell of a play right there. And again, this is down in the red zone, man.
I like the little game. Yep. You see the left hand. Watch Williams' left hand here. Right there. See it?
Very subtle, right?
Very subtle. And AFAM will love this one. Props to the officials for not throwing a flag there.
You know what I like though is watch Bullard and watch how he doesn't give up on the play and how the guy that he's passing him off to doesn't either, like that. And then you look at Nixon. That to me was that's a great all three cornerbacks right there.
Yeah, and Quay does a great job in the middle playing that little drop spy. Watch him. He tightens that. He's going to tighten that throwing window up big time. Look at Quay right in the middle. Watch him. Going to drop, get a little depth. All right, just a difficult throw, right?
Yeah, what's that? Cover one man with the QB spy, or maybe a little drop for Quay, and you have like X. You have X kind of sitting over top, covering any high crossers. You got Quay sitting there, and he pushes them back too, even with his drop. So I just really great all around down, and having the faith to have everybody in man down there.
Mm-hmm. So what you've got is basically man coverage, right there, and then like you were saying, Emilio, it's cover one drop. But this drop has got a spy built in as well. So you're spying the QB and then get depth, reading the quarterback's eyes. That's exactly what that is.
And that drop forces that crosser to go, and he gets pushed back. He gets pushed back with Quay drop, and he gets pushed back with X's drop as well. That guy's fighting to get to the corner.
Yeah, and again, look at our boy. Like there's not a whole lot of room. Like look at the space between his hand and the receiver's hands. Right.
Yep.
Great job.
And again, the subtle left hand. Gotta love it.
Veteran top player out there.
Yep.
All right, so here we are again. He's playing a little deep safety. He's kind of leaning on the right hash from the defense's perspective. But let's see what happens here. Any motion? Surely it's motion. It's the Rams, right? No motion? No motion. The suspense is killing me. Oh, is Quay blitzing? Or is this going to be sugar, boys? Might be.
You never know. That's why we love him.
He's coming.
Oh, he's going.
So a little play action. They pulled a guard too to candy it up a bit. So look at our boy. Look at our boy Evan back here, right? X is down playing spur this time. Remember what we said in the article? The fact that he's a rookie and Hafley trusts him enough to play post safety or in the spur or the robber role, right? Now look at him here. He's got to pick up the three. He's eyeing the three right now, right? The two or the three. It might just be a two over there. It looks like it's a two. So he's eyeing him, but he's also got to be aware of this because he's the deep safety. He knows the fact that it's almost like a cover one man drop type look here, whether it's zone principle or not. He knows he's got to cover deep seam. So Carrington's playing with the proper outside leverage outside of him, funneling it towards Evan Williams. Let's see how this unfolds. So he's getting conflicted right here, right? So he's got two targets the ball could go to, here or here. And look how Evan just kind of holds on tight. Doesn't really panic. Waits for the ball to be thrown. Look where the ball's thrown. Look at him. Look. Now watch him close right here. This ball is going to this receiver right here. Look at all this separation.
That's
right?
5 yards. That's an easy 5 yards.
And watch Evan close. Watch him attack.
Wow.
Right. Impressive, man. That's a true post safety right there, man. And if you were to ask me, Clayton, what is Evan Williams' strength? Playing spur, playing down in the box. And then you see him do this as the post safety.
Yeah.
Dude, who is that in the middle of the field? Is that LVN? Right by the 39 there.
I think that is, isn't it?
Because LVN takes away the under.
Yeah.
He took away. That was another
Yeah,
look.
that is.
That was another look underneath that he took away.
Perfect.
That's
So
LVN.
this is what we talk about 90 drop, right? So Quay's going to blitz. They're rushing, right? Everybody's rushing. Sorry, I had to do it. And then you got our boy LVN's going to drop. So we call this 90 drop.
Look,
Remember,
picking up right where Preston Smith left off, right? Drop back into coverage.
No,
Let's
Tim,
go.
no.
Oh.
Joe Barry is the only defensive coordinator that lets edge defenders drop into coverage, sir. Stop it now. Let's see how many actually fire on this. I think they brung 5. Let's see what Cooper does. That's going to tell the story right here. Let's see if Cooper sugars and drops or if he actually blitzes. Let's see here. I love the suspense. He's dropping. See? So he's playing coverage.
And you can do that because this is the only game we got to see him and Quay on the field at the same time.
Wow.
This is the perfect example of how people on the freaking radio drove me insane. They're still doing it to this day on Sports Talk going, yeah, you had to blitz heavy because your 4 rushers couldn't hit home. They don't
Idiot.
have 2 brain cells to rub together to realize, guys, that's not a blitz. We only brung 4. You drop 90 and you drop 56. Just because you mugged, it's mind-boggling to me. So
look at the Lukeness monster in coverage, backpedaling. Look at taking away that underneath.
I love that he kind of held his own underneath, right?
He sure did, man. Looking like a corner.
Yeah. I was going to ask Clay, what do you, in your opinion, does Javon Bullard here, is he supposed to shoot out to get the flat there? And then Keyshawn Nixon is supposed to have that kind of deep coverage? Because it looks like right there's Bullard. Yep.
Yeah, let's roll it. He's got curl flat. Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks a little weird because there's nobody attacking the flat. And that's what I love about half of the defense. It's go find work. So he's kind of getting a little depth here in case this guy wants to run an out route or something because he's got to play. Is that Keyshawn up top? Is that right?
I think Keyshawn actually made a great play too for him recovering.
So he's got to play over the top, right? So I might say fire half.
Greg Rice, fire half.
All I could see was FIREH. I'm like, I knew what they were saying. So yeah, he had curl flat right there, Jacob, for sure.
That's cover 3, right? That's got to be covered. You got cover 3, you got all the hooks underneath, and then you have that drop is just LVN switching out for a backer.
Yeah. Here, and then like you said, LVN dropping out, and then you got Edgerrin Cooper with showing blitz, and he's covering curl flat the same as our boy Bullard on this side. So that's what you would call cover 3. So. Very, very good play again. We're breaking out Evan Williams tape, but we're seeing other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other avenues here. Pretty cool. Another great play there. All right. So here he is showing post safety again, right? So where is our boy Xavier McKinney? Is he on the field right now? We're showing 2 high shell right here. Let's see if he's sugaring. Let's see if he sinks into the box here. Yep. See Evan already eyeing. That's your robber you're talking about, Jacob. See how he's just going to go flat footed? Yep. He's looking for one of these guys to run across her and him just jump underneath, right? And our boy Xavier McKinney already dropped deep. So this looks like it's probably it looks like man, don't it, Emilio? That's definitely man.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So that's cover 1 robber is what you would call that. 4-man rush, cover 1 robber. See where he goes with the football. Look at Evan. Bang. That was incomplete, by the way. It looks like a completion there, but the actual call on the field, the ball did hit the ground.
And I wonder why, because somebody got their hand up in there again.
Yeah. Bang.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I love how he's looking to the right, comes back, looks for work, reads the quarterback, makes the play. Yeah, beautiful play. All right, moving along. We're almost out of time here. We'll try to go rapid fire, boys. I could watch this stuff all night.
Great job by Williams again. One more time on that play, considering that our boy Stokes got cooked once again.
So here we're showing shell coverage again, right? 2 high deep. Watch last second. Remember what the article said? Look at him just slowly creeping in now. We're going to creep in. Now he might be man coverage. Could be. Let's see. They're going to run a little switch concept underneath. Look at Evan fighting through it. Gave it a little, almost like a little stick knot or something. Look at Evan fighting through the ball.
Nice
Another
hand.
great play.
Yeah,
He's a hell of a he can play. He can cover. Go ahead, Emilio.
That one was cover 1 man, bringing the backer though. So you're man up. Everybody's man up. You only have one dude covering the top there. X. Everybody else is coming. Obviously, you still have that little bit of touch spy there. With I think it was Wyatt. But I do love that he's switching it up. Right. We saw cover 1 with a spy earlier. Now we're seeing cover 1 with a backer blitz. Yep. And it's not all the same, but having the trust in your guys to be able to run this man.
Yeah, and this would be – and what they did was they went 11 personnel and they emptied out the backfield. You notice the running backs right here, right? There's your tight end. Strong side of the formation's left. So that makes Edgerrin Cooper your Mike, and that would make Quay your will. Okay, so what Emilio's talking about, this is a true cover one. We call this cover one mock fire. All right, and what that means is you've got one deep, everyone else is man coverage. They're going to handle the switch. They may switch off depending on the switch concept and how it releases. Quay is manned up on the running back. You got man here, and then your mock is going to fire. The reason it's the mock is in a nickel 4-2-5, right? The mock is always on the strong side of the formation, okay? The will is on the weak side of the formation. So that makes Quay the will. That makes Adrian Cooper the mock on this play, and it's a cover one mock fire. Good eye, Emilio. Great eye there.
And again, great job by Williams. Is that Hawkinson that he just broke that pass up on?
Yep.
No,
I don't know who their tight end is, to be honest.
that'd be Higbee.
Okay, Higbee. Okay, so in other words, our safety against the tight end, and he's playing big boy physical football.
And
I think
remember
that's one attribute of Evan Williams' game that doesn't get enough respect is the physicality that he brings as a safety.
Remember what the article said, too. It said Hafley trusted him to play post safety. He trusted him to play in the box, and he also trusted him to man cover tight ends. There's a perfect example right there.
Yep.
Really, because, I mean, look at poor Eric Stokes up there on the 30. I mean, he gets turned around. And that's
Yeah, Quay had better coverage in the flat.
seriously.
I
And
like
honestly-
how Quay drops that shoulder, too, to like, all right, you want to rub? Here, buddy.
Yeah.
Put it right that shoulder right in his face.
Yeah,
Wait.
Georgia Bulldogs. How you like it?
You know, we obviously, like you said, Clay, we're watching Evan Williams here, but as we're watching this, you see other players. Like I'm more impressed with Keyshawn Nixon
I know
in
it,
certain
yeah.
situations. You watch him here; he takes Tutu Atwell coming across his face in the three wide receiver set. He runs with him. He gets a little handsy, but
Yeah,
I think that's good contact. You know,
This is what we were talking about. I don't think any of us were prepared that Keyshawn was going to play as well as he did on the boundary last year. We thought strictly maybe special team or slot guy. He proved that he can play on the outside.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I must have been drunk when I drew the circle. Let's see if he ends up there. I don't know. Might be some, there's some motion. Okay, so I did all right.
there we go.
That was the point. right?
There's a guy.
So again, they motioned over, didn't they, Emilio? So
Yep.
this is looking like it's setting up like man coverage. You see Xavier. God, McKinney is so valuable. Look at him directing traffic, right? Letting him know. All right, just go ahead and pick him up. It looks like it's going to be cover one. Nobody drops, so you're actually blitzing here. Okay?
Cover one linebacker fire.
One, yep, two.
We're bringing 6,
four,
actually.
5, 6. Yep, we're
Wow.
blitzing 6.
So
right?
you're
But we're hat on a hat all the way back then.
Yep.
and then you
So
got
it probably was man, and whoever was covering the tight end, if the tight end stays, I'm going, right? So you're not going to waste a spot sitting out in the field if you have your guy sitting in there blocking.
yeah. So Evan Williams is manned up right there. Okay, look at that. That's good coverage, boys. Stripe for stripe with him.
It all
And
goes
he-
back to that freeze frame, that initial freeze frame. Look at right here. Like if you see his body position as he comes out of the break, right here. Look at him, squared up. There's no way he's getting beat there.
Right, and he knows he's got help in the middle too, so he can turn his back to it. Right.
Yep, exactly.
There you go.
Must be nice to play with a guy like Xavier McKinney behind you, right?
Yeah, it makes it look easy for sure. Here we are against the Bears. So now it looks like X is rotating down. You see him rotating down, and now what did the article talk about? He played some post safety as well, right? So now you've got Evan Williams kind of staying deep. They're blitzing. Look at this blitz, boys.
X gonna give it to you.
This is 0, baby. This is cover 0, right? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're bringing 7 right here, and everybody else is man coverage, right?
Look at our boys though. Look at the white jerseys. Hat for a hat, baby. Nobody's getting beat.
Watch how quick Evan Williams closes right here. This is insane. Just watch Evan Williams. Watch this. Ball snap. We're at 75%. It looks fast. Watch this. Look at him break
Yeah.
all over it.
Yeah.
And again, it was a bad throw by Caleb. Imagine that, right?
What else is new?
Threw a heater in there, high and behind him.
It's okay. He found his mom in the stands after this
Yeah,
play.
he slipped off his nail polish. You know.
Didn't even look right. I mean,
No.
the man, you had your running back. You know when you're hot, you got an outlet. Just turn to the right and flick it to the running back. Literally nobody covers him.
That's a 20-yard scramble by Swift, right? Just
Yeah.
untouched, and he doesn't even look his way. But he's a generational talent, guys.
Right. So when you read cover 0, If you can't hit a home run, and you can't because they're playing too soft, you can't just take a deep shot. It's not like they're playing press. All right, get a good strong release, chuck it over the top, chuck and duck type thing. No, you check it down. That's what you're talking about, right, Emilio?
Yep.
And watch him. Let's see if he checks it down. He knows where the answer is. Doesn't even look at it. This dude is butt naked in the trailer park.
I like
honestly, it's probably a bust, more or less. Like whoever was covering the running back committed too much to the blitz.
Look,
I mean,
he's
if it was
gone,
quick-
dude. He's gone if he catches that
Yeah.
ball
Yeah.
almost.
First of
Thank
all, that's
God
on
Kenny
Bullard,
Bullard.
right?
I
Look
think
at
it's
Bullard.
got to be, right?
Bullard's got to pick Cole Kmet or he's got to pick Swift here.
No, yeah. So
Otherwise,
what I
Komet's
think
going,
what I think it is it's what we
Boy.
call a green dog blitz.
Yeah.
If the running back stays in and block, you blitz too. If he goes out, he's got to cover him. That's definitely
Oh,
Quay's
I
guy.
get it. And we're
Yeah,
already
so-
blitzing. Yep.
Yeah, so Quay just said, "Hell with it, I'm going after the quarterback." You know what? It worked out, but you're right. If he had,
Luckily, we got a bad quarterback on the other side of the
exactly, man.
Look at Swift. Did you see the way Swift just went, huh? All
Right.
right.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like I'm so sick of playing with this guy. All right, so this is the one touchdown that Evan Williams gave up all year, right? He gave up one touchdown all year long. It's against George Kittle. So right here's George Kittle, right? Let's watch it. Ball snap. Kittle's going to work inside. Now, look, we're in a spot drop, okay? So Quay's going to pinch him a little bit. Now, look at Evan. Evan, to me, he misreads this. He's got to know he's got help right here. Yeah. So you got to lag back a little bit. There's no reason for both of you guys to be in the same spot. So he just gets a little bit over his skis, see? That's all the window that Brock Purdy needs. Brock Purdy is a very accurate quarterback.
So then there's one of those examples we were talking about where he looked like a rookie.
Exactly.
Just a little bit.
Right.
Yep.
And again, if it's going to happen, I'm okay with it happening against George Kittle, arguably the best tight end in the league. But again, it wasn't like it was a bad scheme. It was just he got a little too aggressive on that side. Evan did, right? So that's all it was. That was the one touchdown he gave up. So
that's all a part of, like you just said, Clay. Like you got to know your assignment, but you also got to know, your teammate, where he's going to be. Yep.
Yeah. So here we are showing too high shell again. This might be the final play. So he's cheating a little bit. He sees something, right? Now we're going to roll back. So it looks like McKinney is going to play robber and Evan Williams is going to play deep. That's what it's looking like it's setting up for. Yeah. McKinney's so smart, man. Such a good defender. All right, so here's what he's reading, right? Again, Evan Williams, eyes on the quarterback. He's picking this up right here. You see it? That's where his eyes are at. He knows that's the threat. That's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek didn't want none of that.
Nice.
And again, yeah. And it wasn't like wow, Evan made a great play. It's just I want you to focus on how the play unfolds. They're playing robber. He's playing post safety. And look how smooth, side adjustment. There's my guy. Break on the ball. If he catches it, he getting drilled.
You know what's crazy is I think that the safety position nowadays has evolved much with the wide receiver position, where the wide receivers know that they're way more protected, but they still have that glimmer of fear because they know what it's like to watch highlights of like John Lynch and Ed Reed and dudes just absolutely light them up. And like we've seen, Evan Williams seems to have that under control. He goes in there with a controlled chaos and he doesn't lay that kind of. I wish we didn't have to have him pull up, but he knows the type of hit that he needs to make on the receiver to just not get a penalty, but to actually impede the route to the point where Tyreek Hill goes, nah, I'm good. Business decision. Not going to do it.
And if this is 1995, Jacob.
Oh, it's over.
They're carting him off. He's getting carted off. No doubt. All right. There it is. That's Evan Williams chalk dog, boys.
I think a good thing that we learned right here is what Coach Lynn just highlighted. He goes, Williams is a guy that does not make the same mistake twice. And I think that's one of the best compliments that you could ever give a rookie, let alone a dude that's in the NFL. Like that. Yeah. That's what I saw in that film.
That's what they talk about when they say, is he coachable, right? Can you show him a mistake on film and can he correct it immediately and never make it again? Yep.
Yeah. All right, boys. We're way over on time. I apologize for getting a little talky there, but man, anytime we get all four of us in here to watch tape, it's a lot of fun, man. It's hard to just watch it through once. So appreciate everybody in the chat. I know it's been on fire tonight. I think we had a super there from our boy Solder. Thank you so much for that, Solder. Clint, armchair quarterback. Thanks for the chalk talk, guys. Hey, thank you, Clint. Thank you for gifting those memberships last night too, buddy. We appreciate you. Solder, like I said with the super chat, thank you, Solder. Again, if you like this type of content and you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe. The channel is absolutely blowing up. If you want to support us, you can do it two ways, one of two ways. You can either hit that join tab right down here on YouTube, okay? Or you can do the recommended way. We say join our Patreon group, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. You'll have access to these articles and things that we put together, chalk talks, all that good stuff. I'm going to take that Evan Williams clip and upload it onto that article. That way you guys have got that right there. You can go back and kind of relive those moments as well. So that's it, boys. We're out of here. Emilio, Tim, Jacob, appreciate y'all's time. This was fun. And we'll be back possibly tomorrow. It's the 4th, okay? What we may end up doing is doing a little bit earlier show. I'll let the guys know as soon as I can. But if there's no show tomorrow, hey, don't hold us against it. Don't hold it against us. All right, it's the 4th of July, one of my favorite holidays, man. So, yeah, it's just the day.
Happy birthday, America. Sorry your party sucked.
Amen to that, sir. Amen to that. So as I look over on the TV and go, yeah, there they are. There they are. I've got it on a news station here, and they're all arguing over the big bill. So
No, yeah, you got I know what you got over there, Clayton. The countdown till college football comes out. I know it's just a big clock on your TV right there. Come on now.
Monday, baby. Monday. Larry Cano says, what did Larry say there? Anytime Larry talks, I'll listen, man. This makes it so I can hardly wait for the season to start. Thanks, guys. Have a safe 4th. Yes. Amen to that, Larry. I agree too, man. It's the type of stuff you want to break down this time of year. But everybody keep their digits, please. For the
I was going to say, don't be Jason Pierre-Paul up in here, all right?
And there's somebody going, I'm not that stupid.
You're the one.
It's just like the person that, they say every family's got that weird relative, and they go, mine doesn't. And you go,
you're the one. Hey, also, put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse.
We need that drop. Back it up, Terry.
Oh, Lord, Terry.
Yes, Emilio, I'm ready for college football.
Yeah.
I'm fired up, man. So, all right. Thank y'all. Again, check us out on Patreon. Hit that join tab. We'll see y'all tomorrow or Saturday. Everybody be safe. Good Lord, Terry Boss says. This show sucks. We're out of here. Appreciate y'all.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.